Simms back at it again with another House of the Dragon video. So I watched it like a couple days ago, but I made some notes, okay, so I can remember it. This episode is a little better than the last one, but we gonna see. So first thing I'm gonna bring up is Lord Corley, because sir, get over it. Get over it. His whole little diatribe about my family were great kings once. We second sons have to get it out the mud. Like what is this? Spy X family? Scion son? Like, whatever. I could care less about this man. So he decided to give the king his young ass daughter who's 12. The Lady Lena, I think is her name. Him and his wife, I don't know. It's giving Despacito, it's giving Desperado, and I don't even know how to help you with that. Like, I don't even know how to help. Like, okay, so here's how I felt about it, right? Because this is the truth about how I felt about it. I was grossed out, because at first I thought, I think I saw some of their kids, right? But there's no way that could be who I think it is, because that girl looks way too young. Right? So I'm just like, okay, is it what? Whatever. The king has finally gone up in my books, right? Because he decided that doesn't matter what Corley and Rhaenys be saying, I am not interested in a 12-year-old, and I honestly respected that very highly. I was so happy about that. I was like, you know what? Respect to the king, finally, because what in God's name is this? But alright, so Lord Corley wanted the king to take his daughter's hand in marriage, obviously, so he can keep his station and have some ties. Which I understand, but here's the thing about it though, like, this is not the way to do it, okay? This is not the way to do it. I feel like you could have done something else. You could have done something else if you wanted to, like, you know, get this message out there. And like, poor Lady Lena, like, when her mom was like, look, I know how this must all feel, right? And I'm so sorry for how this must feel for you, but you have to do this. Just be grateful, I guess, that you don't have to sleep with him until you're like 14. Like, do you know how grim that is? That's like beyond grim. Like, when I heard her say that, I was like, holy crap. And then Lena said it to him. Like, she's a kid, so I'm gonna let her slide, but like, he's not gonna want to marry you if even his mom was just like, ugh, at least you don't have to do anything with him until you're a little older. Like, the hard thing about the Targaryens is you can't really tell how old they are, because they all kind of have white hair. But here's my thing about it though. I'm just thinking, you know, like, ugh. So apparently the Corleys are a Valyrian, which is like purebred Targaryen. The whole time I was watching the show, I was thinking, Rhaenyra is lucky that he's not trying to go full royal inbred and impregnate her. But anyways, that was just a dark thought that I was just happy that they didn't go that far. What else happened? Oh yeah, Corley is trying to get rid of the crab guy, and he's trying to get Daemon's help. Now, I like this scene because in the first episode you saw seeds of him and Daemon having some sort of rapport. So it was good to see that, you know, he does respect Daemon. He'll try to go through the king if need be, but for the most part, Daemon is the one that he respects. And I really like that. It's really interesting. So we will see. Yeah, so we'll go into that later. Rhaenys had a talk with Rhaenyra. That's Princess Rhaenys. I guess that's his cousin. I think she said his cousin or whatever. And, you know, they kind of just went tit for tat, so to speak. Like, they were just like tit for tatting each other. And I thought it was really interesting. I feel like I've always felt a little sorry for Rhaenys because they call her the queen that never was. Like, I'm sorry. It's so beyond disrespectful what they do to this woman. Like, so beyond disrespectful. Like, come on. Do better, guys. Do so much better than the disrespect that you're giving this woman. Like, I don't even know, like, how I would last, you know? So, she's trying to give Rhaenyra some help, which I understand that in, you know, feminist power, she's like, I don't need this. But some of the best stories I've seen are women who overcame adversity by being smart about it, not just by being loud. Rhaenyra is a very loud person. Like, she's going to show her dominance by pumping up her chest with it. You know what I mean? And while I understand, I feel like I would like her a lot more if she was more stealth with it. Like, yes, show up power every now and then, but also know how to play the game. In the Game of Thrones, there's a line about the Game of Thrones. In the Game of Thrones, you either win or you, something like that. She needs to play the game. This is a Game of Thrones property, and she needs to play the Game of Thrones. Like, she can't just be like, oh, I don't care, I'm gonna do whatever I want, they respect me. Do they really respect you, Rhaenyra? I don't know. I don't know if they do. Okay? Anyways, so they speak. She sees it as hostile and decides that she don't really care. And here's how I think about this. Here's how I see it, right? I understand why she is cautious of her family, which she should be. Like, in a place like that, you really can't trust anybody. Like, you really can't. However, I do think that she should think about whatever people have to say and then make decisions for herself. Because in the end, that's the only thing that's going to keep her. How well she is at gathering information and making decisions for herself. Speaking of Rhaenyra, let's talk about Alicent. Poor girl. Poor girl. There was a great acting moment, though, that she had, and I'm so glad I remembered it. When the king was kind of complimenting her, you know, not really coming on to her, but saying that, you know, don't tell anybody that we talk like this, and I'm glad that I have you to speak with. She kind of did this whimpering thing where, like, you could see that she was shivering a little bit, and her what's the word? And her eye was twitching. That was a very, very good acting moment. I've never seen this actress before, I don't think. So I was really impressed with the way that she acted that out. I was like, ooh, good. Very good. Good job. I liked that. So, very impressed with that acting moment. It was very good. I like that she's uncomfortable. Okay? Because I know it's back in the day, and technically they can marry somebody at 12. But I am so glad that Alicent was just like, okay, I know I have to do this, but I really don't want to. Is that okay? Is it okay that I don't want to do this? Her dad ain't shit. Otto ain't shit. The way he's just like, go to the king's chambers tonight. Like, why it always gotta be at night? Why? I felt like an idiot though. Like, this episode, like, even before the marriage thing, right? I was like, oh, Otto's just trying to make sure that he keeps his station by getting her married to him. what did I think was happening before? Why wasn't it obvious that what he was doing? You know, back in the day, there didn't have to be a backstabby reason for a child to end up with an adult. You know, they just end up with one. You know what I mean? So to me, I didn't think, oh, he's doing this strategically so that he can have a higher station. I just thought, okay, he just has some very unorthodox methods as the hand of the king to keep the king's head in the game and to keep the king happy, so to speak. So I thought he was just doing that because he was a weirdo. I didn't think that he was more malicious with it, you know what I mean? And it's obvious that he's more malicious with it. I don't know why I didn't think of that. Yeah, so I feel stupid when it comes to that, because it was fairly obvious, and I was just like, oh crap, it's like 1000% obvious. So one other thing that I want to speak about as well is the whole thing of George R.R. Martin and writers being a part of things. And maybe I should make a second video about this. But let me tell you guys now, don't trust anybody. I know that I've gone on record talking about how much I don't trust Brian and Mike. Like, I've done that. Like, I've made that clear. I've done that. But I do that for a specific reason. Because it's true, okay? And because sometimes some people just get lucky. Sometimes people just get lucky, and sometimes people are like Brian and Mike, where they're not lucky. They do genuinely have good ideas. But however, if they don't have the right people translating it into TV, those good ideas not going to mean much. Because they're not going to be, you know, everywhere that they should be. I feel like, personally, this show still isn't perfect to me. It's not like, oh my god, this show is so much better because George R.R. has more of a role, and at least, what I've heard people say, at least this is a finished book, so we won't have the travesty that was the last season of Game of Thrones. And I'm like, guys, you want to know what was wrong with the last season of Game of Thrones? It wasn't that they didn't have a book to go on. It's that they didn't have common sense. And maybe I might make a video about this later, but there are so many videos about this that, why should I? You know? Those guys had a story that they had so much of it already that they did not need. They did not need George to finish everything for them. They had enough there that they could have finished the story themselves. Or at least left it open-ended in a way that made us all comfortable. What did they do instead? They rushed it because they thought they had better things to do. Now, I've seen many a writer rush a thing, you know. They gonna make money anyways, who cares? Does it need to have a contextualized ending? Who cares? In that same way, this could end up bad too. George is old. Doesn't mean he's passionate. What if he doesn't care anymore? Right? We'll see how this show goes. I'll see how it goes. I'm just saying, don't think that it's going to be perfect. Don't. Because that is unbelievably dense of you to think that, oh, this show will definitely be good. Who said that? Who said that? Who said this show would be good? Who said it? Yes, and I'm glad I remembered. Let's talk about the marriage thing, right? Like, we need to discuss as a people, right? Because here's my thing. If you're gonna go full 3000 AD, then go full 3000 AD. Okay? Sorry, 300 BC more like. If you're gonna go 300 BC, then just go full 300 BC. Okay? If you're gonna go, children could get married at 10 and rapes were normal and killing your wife during C-section is normal. Like if you're gonna do all that, then go full force. Why in God's name? And mind you, this is a little bit of a weird thing for me, because yes, there was a part of me that was happy that the king wasn't going for the Laena marriage. However, why was everybody more okay with the Laena marriage than the Alicent marriage? Is it because the Valyrians and the Targaryens have a stronger blood match? Because, like, that's, like, so stupid to me. I'm sorry, I can't. So dumb to me. Like, I can't even breathe. I don't even know what I'm doing here. So it's like, everybody was just like, yes, you should pick her. Yes, you should pick her. Yes, pick her. Yes, 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 pick her. Pick her, please, sire, pick her. And I'm just like, so you guys are just okay with this because she's Valyrian? Like, what common sense does that make? Just because she's Valyrian? Like, I'm sorry. What? So, apparently, just because Lana is Valyrian, her age doesn't matter. But when he finds somebody that I don't really agree with either, but is at least 3 years older, and is closer to being what is considered a woman, which is technically 16, they have more of an issue with that. Like, why is that even a thing? Why is that even an issue? Like, I'm so confused. Like, we need to talk about why that's even a thing. Okay, if we're really going back in the day, then Laena would have been fine and it would have been done with. So the whole him being uneasy about it is slightly strange. It helps me like him a little more, but it's still a little strange, because it's like, okay, are we really back in the olden days, or is this a fantasy show with a modern twist? You know, because yes, feminist things happened back in the day, but they were like more crazy and of note, and they had to fight through a lot of things, you know. So show me the fight then. Show me the fight. Don't just show me a bunch of platitudinal words and then people like Rhaenyra just get to do whatever she wants. You know what I mean? So I just want y'all to think about that. Just think about that a little bit. Oh, and just to go back to Rhaenyra and Rhaenys, because we need to talk about that again. One thing that I don't think Rhaenyra understood from what Rhaenys was trying to tell her, it is not that, you know, she is weak. It is that it doesn't matter if you think they picked you on the surface. If they have an out, they're going to take it. And I remember I said that, and I like that. I like that sentence that I made. Because it's like, yeah, it's exactly like what she said before, right? Like, her dad picked her because she is a better choice technically than her uncle. Like, it's like what she said when Alicent was trying to get her to see her dad as a better person. It's like, he only picked me to spurn my uncle. That is true. You know what I mean? That is 100% true. Why are we trying to shy away from that? You know? Like, is there a reason why we're trying to stop her from believing that? Like, to be honest, it looks like the truth to me. It looks like the truth to me. To me personally, I think that's what's happening. I think that is what is happening. So for me, I was just like, yeah, like, it doesn't matter what you think. You need to watch your back. Because they don't care about you. Like, literally this, right? She thinks that just because because her father can be cowardly and they respected her resolve, means that, like, she's safe or something. Like, ma'am, you're not safe. They don't really respect you. Calm the tits. The tits need to be calmed. Calm them. Let me know when you're done calming them, because this is not what's happening today, my dear. This is not what's happening today. Okay? I feel like she just doesn't think sometimes, and it's so weird, because it's like, why won't you just think, Rhaenyra? And this is what I want. I want her to be likable because she's smart and resourceful, and then she got what she wants that sometimes only men get. Do that. Don't just make it be that you're just gonna plot armor her through the whole thing. And I know that's weird to say because it's George R.R. Martin. He doesn't usually just give female characters anything. They usually have to work really hard to get where they are. So I hope that that same trend continues. I really hope that that same trend continues, George. You know what? Let me just stop shitting on Rhaenyra for a second, because I did like her this episode. As much as she wasn't thinking too hard, when she did come to knock if you buck to Daemon, like, you should be mad at me, come end me then. I did respect that, and I did like it, because in the writing standpoint, it did show that she had more rapport with her uncle, and it showed that they had a certain level of respect there. So I did actually like that. Let me stop being a little hater. Okay, because I did actually like that, and I did actually like her in relation to that. However, my thing is, I hope that even though she can be that way, that's not the only way that she will be. I want her to show a level of duality. Don't make her be just a monolith. The same way that she knows that, like, Otto would never have been able to just peacefully get the egg from her uncle, so she did it because she knows she can get it from her uncle. Good. That means that she was thinking. I want her to keep thinking. I want her to keep being aware that she has a brain and intelligence and that she can use it. Alright? So that's all I'm gonna say about that, because it's just the truth. You know, it's just the truth of that. And I want to, like, ooh woo, look into this, you know? What else can I talk about? So much has happened. There might be a mutiny going on with Corley. He might help Daemon rise in the mutiny. It looks like Daemon likes that Missy girl, Missandra. What is her name? I feel so... Oh, whoa. Missaria. The lady Missaria. But I did like the scene that happened between them, because she was like, I want to be protected. I want to be protected. That is why I got with you. Okay? I didn't get with you for money. I got with you for protection. And I liked that, because it's a new dynamic. And it seems like she can be candid with him. You know, it looks like he respects her enough to let her get candid with him without her having to fear that he's going to chop her head off, which I like, because to be honest, like, I'm sorry, he's still my favorite character. Like, I know that, like, they're trying to frame him as, like, this crazy guy that we should all be scared of, but, like, personally, I kind of like him. Like, yes, he's a little crazy, and Rhaenyra would probably be a better choice. I'm not gonna fight you on that, but he's not as terrible as y'all are making him seem. Can we at least, you know, talk about it from that perspective? I don't think he's that bad, you know. But however, I could be beyond wrong about everything that's happening here. But here's the thing about it, right? I just feel like this show is definitely going in an interesting direction. Episode 2 helped me want to see the rest of it. I heard there's going to be a time jump, which was spoiled for me when I went to go look at the cast names and saw a bunch of adults where the kids should be. So Alicent... Oh! I almost forgot to bring this up. What is wrong with me? So, our fair lady was not happy. Rhaenyra was not happy with the decision that her dad made. I think that that's very interesting. So she was not happy about it at all. She was like, she ran away. I would love to see them touch on that before the time jump, because once the time jump happens, it's over. But now Alicent is going to be her mom, technically. I want to see what is going on with that. I want that to be a topic of conversation. You know what I mean? So let's get into that and let's see what's going to happen with that, because that's all I want to see. I want to see what happened with that. I want to see what happened with that really, really, really bad. You know what I mean? So we are going to, you know, look into this a lot more. We're going to continue watching this show. I do like it, you know, and I do think that it's going to be a good show. I am very critical, but this is because TV has fallen off. Okay, it's fallen off in recent years, and so I have this tendency to not trust it. But if it's good, it's good, and you've seen me talk about how good certain things can be. You can have a critical eye and still enjoy something. Okay? Anyways, if I didn't miss anything, I'll probably bring it up in the next one. The characters still aren't as likable as the characters in Game of Thrones. You know, there are so many different types of characters that I just loved everyone. Oh, yes, I do prefer Daemon to Otto, because Otto just gives Littlefinger energy, and I'm not about that. I'm not give you bug with your shit, okay? Anyways, thank you guys so much for watching this House of Dragon Episode 2 review. See you on the next one. Goodbye, gamers. Susu.